In this video, I'm going to show you 17 tips and tricks for bricks that will help you get through your day. So let's get to it. Okay, the first trick is how to quickly get to your brick settings. This one is kind of new. You just go under your manage, come down here, go to brick settings, and see it opens it up in a new tab so you don't screw up what you were doing. And that allows you to change the settings. Now, that brings us to tip number 2. You can actually customize your builder. All you have to do is go to custom and then come down here and save it. And then in the custom box, you can just put in some CSS. Here's a CSS that I use. I'm going to save that. And let's go back. You see how there's a little indicator there? You can kind of just see the little thing. And up here, there's a little, little bar. It's kind of hard to see, right? So that CSS that I added will actually make red blocks on anywhere that has edits. So watch when I click this. See, now it's a red thing that tells me that something is different there. And up here I can clearly see, and if I change this and I do something different on this breakpoint, let's say I change the font size to text small or whatever, you see now I have that indicator, which makes it really easy to see that, oh yeah, there's a setting here on your medium indicator. Now for the next thing we're going to do, we're going to actually be working on this page, and let's say we need to make it a change to another page, but we don't want to leave this page. All you do is you come here to pages and hold down control and click here. Now I'm not having luck with this because my keyboard is a little goofy right now. So I'm going to right click, open in new tab, and there you go. Now you have the other page loaded. Now while we have that, we may want to copy things over, and you can just simply grab a section like this, right click and go copy, come here and just click the paste all, and in comes that section. A new feature that Bricks has, and that is that you can actually copy multiple sections. So here I'm going to copy these first 3 sections, and I'm just going to right click and copy. Go to the new page and same thing, paste all here, and all 3 sections come in. In the past, you had to do one at a time or wrap them up. Let's go back here, and as you see, when I select it, I click the top, and I click as far down as I want to select, and that allows me to select multiples. But there's another way. You can select one, hold down Control, and select any ones that you want, which really gives you the ability to select multiple things. Stop building boring sites. Bricks FX library gives you over 600 ready-to-use animations and effects for Bricks Builder, scroll animations, hover effects, and much more, all while being super lightweight. Want a bit more high-end? BFX Pro Toolkit gives you 82 top-tier effects like cinematic backgrounds, animated text, mouse interactions, and much more. With both tools, you just add a class to an element and you're done. No CSS or JavaScript knowledge needed. Your site goes from flat to incredible in seconds. Bricks FX, go make something that moves. Now another really useful thing is the ability to use a shortcut to add elements. All you have to do is hold down Command, Shift, and press E, and you'll see it puts us up here, and I can quickly say, well, I want a heading. I type that in, I press Tab, and I just press Enter, and that added a heading for us, which will just move up, and there's our heading. Now, if we wanted to, we could do the same thing with Command, Shift, or Control Shift on Windows, and press C for component, and that'll go right to your components, and you can easily add a component card. There you go. Now the next feature I like to call the time machine, because it's sort of like having a time machine. Now this page I have been editing like crazy. It's just a sample page, but let's say I want to go back in time. All I have to do is click Manage, go to History Revisions, and go to Revisions, and I can see any of the saves that I've ever made on this page. So if I want to, I can go back 3 weeks, and now I have a totally different page, and I can start editing it, and then when I save it, this would become the active page again. However, what if you just want a piece? For instance, I really like this header here. What if I just want this header, and I don't want to implement the entire page? Well, all I'm going to do is come here, right click and go copy. So I've copied this section, And then I'm going to reload the page without saving it because I don't want to keep that old stuff. I want to put that old thing in the new page. So I'm going to press paste, and it just added it down here. And there it is, our old section from the past brought onto our new page. Have you ever been building a page and you put in a header and you're using your biggest font size, which in this case is 2XL, and you think to yourself, this just isn't big enough? No problem. For that, all you're going to want to do is the calc, which means do a calculation. You put in the value, which in this case is your header size, and you times it by whatever you want. In this case, let's times it by 2. And let's center that. And you know what? Let's even make it bigger. Let's go times it by 3. Now it's a really huge text, right? Clearly you wouldn't want a CSS for this size. Now, when you have big text like this, the next tip is totally great. What you're going to do is you're just going to click your element, go down to CSS, type R and tab to get the root, and then you're going to put in the following CSS. It's color transparent and web text stroke, and here I've got 2 pixels in white, but I could make it any thickness I wanted. If I wanted it 4, and if I wanted, I could even use a variable to put in our primary color. Now let's look at this on the page. We're going to press Control and the link, and then we'll come here. And if I reload it, and you'll see, even though I had a Bricks Effects element on here, which gave the animation, it still works. It's still see-through, which is a really cool effect. Now, what if you wanted to make these top 2 sections part of a template? You could select them both, but when you right-click, you see it can't be turned into a template. So you kind of have to do a little bit of a trick. So what you're going to do is you're going to select the 2, you're going to right-click and wrap them in a block. Now this block you will save as a template, and we'll just call this test template. And we'll go ahead and save the template. And now when we go to use it on a page, now I'll have to reload this page so that it'll get access to the new saved template. But if I wanted to, I could easily add that template now. All I'd have to do is go to my templates, click here and click Insert. And there's my 2 sections. They're inside of this block. So all I have to do is right click and go unwrap, and there's my 2 sections on the page. Now, this next trick is really great for helping you understand that these are just representations of HTML. And as such, you can affect ones that are children. And it opens up a lot of really cool things. Now, here I have just a heading and a rich text. And in the rich text, I have a link. But as you can see, my link isn't visible at all. So let's go ahead and grab this. And we'll take this parent. We're going to press R and tab for the root. And we will give it some brackets. And in fact, I'm just going to give a little more space here so you can see it. Now, the trick here is we don't want to affect just this. We want to say and H3, and then we can say color red, and we just colored the heading. And if we want, we could do and A, which is a link tag, and we'll go background color yellow. And now you can clearly see that link. Now, as we all know, variables can be really, really helpful. And it's great, but you don't always want to have to go register a variable for the whole site if you just need it for something like a component. So here we're going to make our own. And on this, we're going to give our column gap a variable of call gap. And let's go ahead and duplicate this several times. Now, as you see, there is no call gap, so there is no space. But by selecting the parent and coming here, I can go root. And now I can easily declare call gap and give it a value, 1 rem, and you see it affects all of them. And just to prove that, I'll go to 5 rem. You see what I'm saying? And while we're on this topic of building component CSS, something that quite often happens is maybe you want to edit this third one, for instance, or whatever. But in this case, let's edit the third one, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to select the parent, and now we'll come to the CSS for it, and we're just going to add another root element, only this time we're going to go colon, nth dash child, and in brackets, we'll add the number of the child that we want to affect, in this case, number 3. And then we can put in whatever we want. So let's say we want to say the color is red and the background color is, who knows, gray. So you see, we can totally change something even though it's just a child element. And if you were to put this on a style, you would have an entire component that was stylized just by dropping it on. Did you know that you can actually easily add today's date into a page simply by adding curly brackets, current underscore date, and then colon, and then whatever you want your date to be. So in this case, let's just do year, month, and we'll save that, and you'll see if I load it in the front end, it gives today's date. And you could change whatever. If you know, here I had commas. If you wanted dashes, you could do that. And we'll save that. And refresh that, and you'll see that it's now dashes. But what if you wanted to change this format? Well, the format is right here. So YMD, and you can look this up in any PHP formatting. But the one that looks best, in my opinion, is FJ and year. And we'll go ahead and save that. And now when I refresh, you have March 31st, 2026.